Hi, my name is Katherine Hunsucker, and I will be presenting over the Champlain Tower Collapse for my mass fatality project for MRTS 1197. So, the collapse happened early in the morning hours on June 24th in Surfside, Florida. It happened to the south side portion of the buildings. President Biden did declare federal state of emergency the very next day on June 24th. At the very beginning, we were not sure exactly what the cause of the building's collapse resulted from. There was a definite fear that this was of some kind of nefarious means, whether domestic or terrorist nature. Within, of course, any kind of incidents like this, your primary goal is rescue of survivors. Only 2 survivors were found, unfortunately, immediately following the collapse. And as information came rolling in, an estimated victim total could have been as high as 159. So that was definitely a very large amount that we had started to plan on that could be found in the aftermath of this collapse. So, after that first week, 12 deceased were pulled from the rubble, recovered from the rubble, and after that week, the decision was made that we needed to move from rescue to recovery. This was due to a number of reasons, partially because it was in the middle of summer in Florida, and the possibility of any survivors within the collapse in that heat was slim to very many. And another part is that the conditions were worsening for our first responders, our recovery teams, and we needed to make it safe for them. So it was decided after that first week to demolish the rest of the buildings, so to demolish the north side of the tower. As investigation was underway, it came to the investigators' knowledge that there was a known problem, and it was known by the Board of Associates that there was definitely a problem with the building's infrastructure. And this knowledge came about as early as 2018 after the 40-year inspection. And the unfortunate thing is, after that inspection, no notice went out to the tenants of the danger that lied within the building. In fact, the Board of Associates went so far as to tell the residents that everything was A-okay, even though the residents were questioning the disrepair of the building. And after the inspection, they were reassured that everything was fine, and it was just minor problems that would be fixed later on that held no true problem. So, as the recovery process still went on, the decision was made not to call in DMORC. This decision was made primarily because they were able to pull out MEs from Miami because it was a close city, and MEs did help, with the recovery process. However, the question is, were the directors as prepared or not as overwhelmed? And I imagine they were, because the majority of the residents of the Champlain Towers were of Jewish faith, Judaism, and so I imagine that community has very trusted directors that they go to and who they trust to handle their families and their loved ones. So, as any director would say, we don't like to think of it as a business, but it is a business. And as a business, you come up with yearly trends. You make estimates of what you expect. And, for example, we always know Christmas will be a busier time of year. So to suddenly, even in that first week alone, to have 12 deceased that you were not expecting to handle, you are all of a sudden having to consult with families who need help, who need care. You're also having to deal with the deceased and care for the deceased, who will most likely need major restoration. So that's taking a lot of time as well. And the big thing that I think of is that you're oftentimes, after the religious figures and leaders, you are the first one to the call. So even though that first week alone you only have 12, that is still a higher number. And let's even say if it was split between 3 funeral homes, 4 extra deceased to your weekly docket and caring for is quite a lot. Because do you have cooler room? Do you have supplies? Do you have caskets? It's can be a lot and very overwhelming. And so, not only that, you have, for families and directors, you have the impact of, as the rescue turned to recovery, these families are now, making plans for their loved ones who they know when they hear news it's probably not going to be good news. So, and as a director, you're making plans with these families who are pre-planning for the recovery of their loved ones. You have a lot of variables to think of. Is this deceased going to need major restoration? Is major restoration going to be possible? Do you have enough caskets? Do you need to order these caskets? What exactly does the family need or want? So a lot of variables to think about. And then as a community as a whole, you are unfortunately now mistrusting, I'm sure, of your leaders of community, such as the Board of Associates. You're now questioning everyone who is supposed to be caring for you and who is expected to have your safe care in mind. Because nobody ever thinks, is my home in trouble, when you've got someone looking after it. And so now you have that question, do I need to, start demanding answers. And I know the families who lost their loved ones in this class did, and I know they're still currently fighting with the Board of Associates on not only answers, but, compensation for losing their loved ones. And so, with any incidents like this, we always want to point fingers. And this, unfortunately, we can't point the finger at an evil person. We're pointing at somebody we believe to be part of our community. And that's never easy. Losing a loved one is never easy, but to have that on top of it I can't imagine how troubling and hurtful. So, while this was an extremely enlightening research project, this was also a very saddening research project. I definitely do remember the day it happened. I remember first thoughts was, are they under attack? Did something happen? It's never the first thought in mind to think mismanagement was the issue. So, that definitely makes you think. And thankfully, through my research, I didn't find any incidents where the directors failed their families that they were caring for. So, while there may be no good outcome, at least there wasn't an additional negative outcome. So, these are my references. Some great NPR articles that were really enlightening over the event. And it was definitely an eye-opener. I thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.